Protesters from all different backgrounds, Democratic, Republican, Socialist, and Independents, all lined the streets of Hofstra College to voice their concerns before the last presidential debate. The protest outside of the last presidential debate grew violent as hundreds of protesters surrounded the gates. They were led by 5 Iraq War veterans who wanted to cross the police barricade and enter the debate to ask both candidates a question about the Iraq War. The veterans were then arrested for civil disobedience. After the arrest, a near riot ensued as Nassau County Police used their horses to forcefully push hundreds of people back onto one side of the street. Other Iraq War veterans attempted to form a human line against the horses to prevent from being moved, but were trampled in the process. Civilians and innocent bystanders, lost in the hectic commotion, also felt the force of police. One of them was protester Nadine Lupka, who had blood all over her face.
A group of police, I'm not even sure how many, there were a lot of them, just came with their battering rams, knocked me over and ran me over with a horse. I was just horrified when I saw them ram through the crowd with battering rams, just knocking people over. I was just pretty much begging them to take it easy, go easy, we could work it out, and suddenly I get knocked over with battering rams and run over by a horse.
Forcefully pushed and contained, protesters and veterans were left frustrated and in disbelief about how the police treated them.
I'm sitting there looking at the meat of his bone.
Oh my God.
We were here to deliver peacefully, a couple messages to the candidates. We wanted to ask them straightforward questions that weren't spinned, that weren't chosen by the media, that were asked by real veterans who have served this country proudly. And this is how we get treated. One of my veteran brothers tonight was stabbed in the face, where you can see the meat of his bone right here underneath his eye. How can you treat veterans like that, America? How can you do that? That is inappropriate. It's inappropriate. It is not what I've defended this country for. It is not what I've given 8 years of my life for. It is not what I served in Iraq for. This is not the America that I believe in. And if we keep getting treated like this, you're going to see this all over this nation.
We are here supporting Iraq veterans against the war. The person who's getting taken away in the ambulance is a friend of ours. His name's Nick Morgan. He's a member of Iraq Vets Against the War. They're non-violently protesting. His head got kicked around by the hooves of horses.
He's not completely conscious. They might still arrest him.
His blood's right on the ground over there, too.
We want them to continue holding their elected leaders accountable and to hold these presidential candidates accountable. We want them held accountable for statements they said saying they were going to support United States veterans and then either were absent from votes on VA funding or just plain voted those funding bills down.
You have refused or voted against VA funding. We currently have 1,000 service members, 1,000 veterans attempting suicide each month in this country. We have an average of 17
As the debate came to a close and both candidates answered America's questions, the Americans outside of the debate were still waiting for theirs. I'm Jackie Fernandez with The Word.